Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to SeptumSin versus the World / Delusions of Grandeur, as Dave and I do yet another combined pickup. This time, I am trying to go through the Switch games, and if we have time, just depending, because we have a discussion coming on right after this, I'll go into the part 3 of it, which is childhood shows that I watched when I was younger that I still need to do pickups on.
Okay.
So, why don't I go ahead and get us started? I got these in alphabetical order, but we'll move fast. These are all Switch games.
Okay.
Most of which probably work on the Switch too, but you never know. All right, let's see here. Come on, where is that? Yeah, there we are. So, this first one is Curse of the Moon Chronicles. This is a Play Asia version because I did not have the limited run version. This has the Curse of the Moon, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 1 and 2. So the first of these series was based off of the creator of the Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Decided he was going to do Kickstarter for a new game, and one of the what do they call it? The extension ones. One of the stretch goals ended up being he created an all new original game in 8-bit style, and so that was the Bloodstained Curse of the Moon series. So the first game, which I have beaten, is kind of cool. It plays a lot like Castlevania 3. You got multiple characters, multiple branching paths. It's actually a really fun game. I haven't played the second one, but it's kind of cool to have them both on Switch. And one of the great things about the Switch being region-free is that I can get these, the Japanese releases, and have them play on the Switch. And they have English language options, which is great. So, pretty cool thing right there.
Okay.
I'll put you over there. There you go.
Alrighty. So the first up is Brandon, for my birthday, either a birthday or two ago, you got me the entire Resident Evil series. Okay. So yeah, technically I already had it, but when I went and tried to install it on my PS5, it was not taking the installation at all, and the disc is clean, so I don't know what happened there. So I picked up another copy, brand new, worked, and I played a couple of games and got myself even further, at least on the Zero games. So pat on my back there. So that is the first pickup that I have to share, and that's for the PS4 system. So they have not made a PS5 version.
I like RE0. Okay, the only thing I don't like is that the item system, you just kind of have to leave them everywhere, and that always was annoying. But I think
or you have to lead them or switch them to the other character, and
so I can get a little annoying after a while.
I totally get that.
The first game in there, both of them are very good, and to me, I think that the first remake, which is a remake of the original Resident Evil, the other one, is actually it holds up today. That was done back in GameCube times, which is pretty impressive. So my next one is another collection. This one is limited run. This is the Castlevania Advanced collection, so it has a lot of the Game Boy Advance Castlevania games, which are all based on that Metroidvania style Symphony of the Night, which where you go around as a vampire hunter, and you end up doing various fights with demons and so on, and you unlock different powers, and those powers help you progress. It's a pretty cool system. I never played Symphony of the Night or any of these. So one of these days I'm going to go and do it. I don't know when, but it will be done. Oh, yes, it will be done.
Okay, so I picked up some years back Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's still in its package because I was waiting for a time to actually pick up the original Dead Redemption
Good one.
with the Undead Nightmare part attached to it. And the reason why is because it's been like uberly expensive to actually find a moment to actually get a copy. Finally, it got down to $30, and I was like, okay, finally, I can get it at $30. But for ages, I would find it everywhere for like 90 to 100 everywhere. So, but glad I was finally able to get a copy. I played it a little bit. I need to probably redo the story line when I go back into it. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
I want to play it before I play the second game, and I have played a little bit of it. I just haven't really had a chance myself yet to do it. So this next one, got a cat here, is by another kind of, well, actually is limited run, and that is Clea, the Complete Collection. This is Clea 1 and 2.
Okay.
With Cat in the Way. This is sort of like a side-scrolling horror game. I don't know much about it. I just thought it looked pretty cool back in the day. There were a lot of times where I would get limited run games just because they looked pretty cool. Nowadays, I don't have the money or the room to be doing that stuff anymore. But still, it was kind of cool having it in the collection. And it's cool to have both games. They both look pretty fun. I just I want to take some time and just play some of these little horror games. It's going to be fun one of these days.
Okay. Next one I have to show is for the PS5 system. I picked up for $20 on a whim Forspoken. Now, from Brandon's mouth, he said that it was not. To me, he said it was not well spoken of at the time it came out. Me, I had no problem with it. I loved it. I loved the world. I loved beating the initial game. I just know that I didn't like do all like the little side missions that they had. I was trying to hunt them all down, but I had enormous fun with it, and I think whoever was playing it and all those Metacritics, sometimes I don't know what they're smoking. So I loved it.
Well, I've got it somewhere. I just have to, again, just like anything else, I'm just digging it up. Like I'm playing Breath of the Wild for the first time, and that game released at the end of the Wii U era, which is there. But here's another limited run, the Contra collection. It has, of course, Contra, Contra 2, Contra 3. Has the arcade games. Really can't. Hardcore. Operation C. Lots of fun stuff on here. I like these collections. Contra is one that I played a lot as a kid, the original Contra. And it's really cool just kind of get back in there and just play with it. Konami code works with it still. So if you can't beat it the hard way, you get all the lives. I liked Contra. It was a tough game back in the day, but it was fun.
See, I remember having a disc, and I'm sure I had the thing for it too, but I had Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 and Contra 1 and 2 all on the same disc for PC. So, and then now I've got at least the Castlevania collection on PS4. And
I've got that somewhere else too.
But in any case, so I'm going to talk about a recent pickup. This one is more recent than anything else. I'm not sure if I went on about this last time, but I picked up Shadow Man, the remaster.
Does it hold up?
Oh, it holds up. I used to have it on PC. I believe I got to a part about the part where the church is, and where he meets up with his voodoo priestess girlfriend friend or whatnot. This is based on Valiant's comic book of the same name. So,
Really can.
glad that I finally got this picked up, because I initially had it in my collection for the PC at one point in time, but PC ain't my thing no more. So, partially because of I need the budget to actually have an actual computer to do that kind of thing. So, but in any case, this is a limited run release, so it was around $60, which is normally what you're going to pay for, one of those games when they're not releasing it at the time. That's relatively cheap.
So the next one here is Cult of the Lamb. Now, this one is definitely bare bones. It doesn't have any of the DLC on it. And where you basically create your own cult. I have this digitally, but it's kind of cool of the base game physically. I haven't played this. I don't know much about it, but a lot of people like it. It's pretty cool. Devolver Digital does good work and creates some fun games. So, it's just kind of cool to have it. I might one day upgrade it to the one that has all the DLC on it, but I haven't done so yet.
Okay. Next, I have to show a release that you've talked about in your collection. Except, let's see, Silent Hill 2. My fiance picked it up for me for my birthday either birthday last year or Christmas this last year, and so I was a little late to everyone having played it in the game community before me, but at least I got a chance to get a copy of it, and I have played it here and there. So
it's a fun game. Kim and I actually got together with it, and we beat the game.
It does help to have a partner to do it.
But it was a good game. Oddly enough, Bloober is actually now they officially said the Bloober team is remaking the original Silent Hill, which is great because that game has that game has not released past the PlayStation 1 and has not had. It's not easy to get a hold of unless you've got a PlayStation 1 copy. So I'm glad to see them remaking of the first.
I know that are they the team that's behind the new release that's eventually coming out of that game? I forget exactly. It's a Silent Hill game. I just don't know the name of it. I know they've got a release coming out.
Silent Hill F is a different studio. But I am glad because the Bloober did do Silent Hill 2, and they did a great job with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing 1, which I'm glad because they kept saying that they were going to do 3 first, and I was like, why are you doing that? 3 is a direct sequel of 1. 2 is its own thing.
I think what they should do is, now that they're going back and doing 1, they should do Code Veronica as well. And help out some of us people who actually think that's a better storyline.
Well, that would be Capcom. We don't know what they're going to do. They seem to not like Code Veronica because they're remaking 5. But this next one is an awesome one, remakes of sorts, and that is the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 collection. I got this through Play Asia because the original release of this through Square sold out immediately, but that's all right. This one actually has a cooler look to it. It has what they call the Pixel Perfect remasters, which started out on PC only, and then they did get console releases. All of the first 6 Final Fantasy games, all but one of these I consider excellent games. I don't consider 2 an excellent game, but I would say that this version is probably the most playable version of 2. It has a lot of quality of life stuff. added to it. It has a great original feel, redone music. These are some of the best RPGs, bar none. And it's really cool to see all of them on there. I've actually played through and beaten all 6 of these over again on this. So it's kind of just cool to be able to revisit and see them again. I didn't have a cat on in front of me while I was doing that. Yeah.
Oh, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Stray game. No, just kidding. But anyways, gonna go and show you one that Brandon sent my way as a birthday, partial birthday present, which I've actually been playing quite a bit of. I like its style, and I think I like its style even better than Dragon Quest 3, the remaster. For some reason, maybe it's because it reminds me of like that Arkista's Ring, or which they really need to remaster that one. I thought Arkista's Ring was pretty good, but Suikoden 1 and 2, Gate Rune and Junin Unification Wars. I didn't play these games when they were out on whatever systems they were in, but I like the storyline and I like the adventuring. It's pretty fucking wicked.
It gets addictive, especially once you get further in the storyline where you're recruiting all the characters. That's always fun for me. So the next ones here, I'm just doing 2 here because it's the first and second game. They did a remaster, actually full remake of these 2. I'm hoping they do it for the 3rd and 4th game in the series, and that would be pretty much all the tactic style. It's a tactic style game, like Final Fantasy Tactics. That's the one that everybody knows, which, by the way, is getting a remake, thank goodness. But it's called Front Mission. Now, this is tactics style games, but with mechs. Now, this is the cool one that has the lenticular cover to it. And I've never played the first 2. I've only played the 3rd and the 4th, which are very good games.
So that's 1 and 2 of Front Room.
And this is the second one, which is Front Mission 2. Limited Run did the release of Front Mission 2. Front Mission 1 does have, I think, a public release, but this one did not. I'm just glad to have the first 2. I'm hoping the 3rd one does get released. I really like the Front Mission games. I think that they're great. I like tactic style games. It's kind of cool to see it like with Mecha doing that sort of thing.
Alrighty, just give me a moment.
Woo!
Okay, so the next one is this, like, I need to play this game a bit more, but this is The Witcher Wild Hunt, Witcher 3. Now, I know that there is Witcher 1 and 2, but I really wish that they would remaster those 2 on some later stuff. This is the version with all like the bonus content and whatnot that you can get with it. But I just watched like the first 3 seasons of the series, and from what I gather, because Henry Cavill actually left the series due to creative differences, from what I understand. And some they're replacing. I'm thinking that that series is just going to go downhill after this.
The whole thing happened. It's an interesting story. He left the series because he thought he was play Superman again.
Yeah. When I played this, it was very slow to get to the actual first mission. So that's what like I wish it wouldn't have had such a slow start. But I need to get back into it and delve into it little bit more just to see if I enjoy the game. So
It's another game that I own, but I haven't gotten to. I own the first game and the second game as well. But the second game is very rough around the edges, and the first game is a point and click. And they are remaking the first game in the series. And of course, they're making a fourth game. So.
Yep.
All right. This next one here is a simple one. It's a fantasy farming game / adventure game called Harvestella. I thought it looked pretty cool. It was relatively cheap, pre-owned, and I said, you know what? I'll go get it. That's all I know about it. Don't know whether it's good or not. I've heard it's decent, so I'll probably get it eventually one day.
Alrighty, my next one is a PS4 game. I still need to pick up a few more of the Need for Speed ones, but this is Need for Speed Rivals. Ended up picking it up for relatively cheap from, I believe, Half Price Books, which is one of the used places here in Milltown. So picked it up. I played it a little bit, but definitely need to get into a few more of those car ones. So back to you.
So this one's interesting, actually, because it's Switch only or PC only. So this is called the Heaven's Dust Collection. Super Rare Games put this out. These are like cutesy versions of Resident Evil. Basically, they're Resident Evil-like games, and they're actually quite fun. I've played it on the PC, and I'm glad I have both because the PlayStation, the Switch is the only console that has the second game on it. And it's kind of cool to have the second game. It looks fun. I really enjoy the first one. I need to get back and beating it again. It's just kind of cool. Nice little zombie adventure. I hope it does play on the Switch too. If not, I do have a Switch one that will I can hook up for it. So,
Alrighty. So next I have a PS5 game that is a sequel to another Jedi one. This is Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Ooh.
Picked this up for the PS5. I know I played the one before this to a certain extent, and it just kind of continues the story. I know I still want to eventually pick up Star Wars Outlaws. That looks pretty cool.
I've heard Survivor is hard as nails.
Well, it follows an interesting storyline. Let's just put it that way. So,
all right. So this here is the sequel to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. In the Zelda timeline, which is really messed up. It goes all over the place.
I don't even like the animation for what it looks like. I think the animation in Breath of the Wild was even better.
So I like that they use cell shading. It's amazing what they can do to push the Switch. But the way that they have it, of course, the earliest game in the Zelda timeline is Skyward Sword. That's apparently the very first game in the timeline. And this is actually the last game in the timeline. So, but the Switch 2 did upgrades, which do cost money if you don't have their online stuff. I have their online package, so the upgrade is included. I have been playing Breath of the Wild, 60 frames per second. It looks good. It sounds good. I've finally been getting into it. I'm hoping I'm getting into it enough that I'll beat it this time. And then I'll probably try to go into this, or I might take a break and work on the Suikoden collection with the second game, or Lunar 2. I've got so many games to beat. It's just crazy.
Alrighty. So my next one is another PS5 pickup for the PS5. And this is I kept seeing it all over, and I didn't even realize that they had actually come out with an Avatar game for the PS3 and the Xbox before this. So I'm kind of pissed that they don't have like something for me to base this on. But the world in this actually looks pretty cool. It's just I got to a certain point, and then I didn't pick up on where I could go next. So I may have to reinstall this and eventually and check the rest, the rest of it out. So, but this is Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
I've heard it plays a lot like Far Cry. That's what I've been told. And I've also been told it's a pretty decent game overall. All right, so let's talk. Well, we've been doing all this Nintendo. We haven't talked about Mario at once. Well, I'm going to break that and talk about Luigi. And that is Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. This was the game that was a DS game only, but they finally ported it to the Switch. I'd like them to do a remaster of the first game, which is funny because they did one while the Switch was out and put it on the 3DS, but if they could do that, they'd have all three games available on Switch. I have played a little bit of this, but I really don't do well playing portably. So I'm kind of glad to see this finally showing up on this. It means I probably will eventually beat it. The third game is excellent. I've beaten that one. The first game is excellent. I've beaten that one. I just need to beat the second.
The hardest thing with Nintendo is that they have only exclusively ported their things to only their entertainment systems. They need to learn how to play well with others and not dominate the thing with their console properties.
Technically, they all do that. I mean, PlayStation has exclusives. All their first-party stuff for both of those. Now, PlayStation's opening up a little bit more. They're sending some of their stuff to PC. But Xbox used to be bad about that, but then they decided that they've lost the console war, so now they don't care.
Now, I remember playing this game on this next game, which I picked up for the PS5. It's a remake of a game that I remember playing on Sega Saturn, if I remember correctly. But it's The House of the Dead.
That's a good one.
And this is the one with the lenticular cover. So now I have something to show.
And definitely one that if you're playing it, it's better if you have your controller unplugged for, because you can move it a little bit better because it uses the most controls in the controller.
Well, yeah. The first game was based on speed. Now, what they do need to do is they need to now port number 2 to later ports to now to complete that. But
they are working on a remake of it. Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
Awesome.
I would like to get the original games. Now, what's funny is the Wii actually did have the collection of the first 3 games in one, and it was really cool because you could use the Wii controller motion controllers like having your own handgun. So this next one is a tactic style game. Ubisoft paired up with Nintendo multiple times. This is the second time they did it with Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I have not played the first one. I've heard the first one is really awesome. I've heard this one was okay. I am not sure. I am not a big Rabbids person, but I've heard these are great games. This was like $12 when I originally got it. So, for $12, I'm willing to try most things. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one I have to show. I actually think that this one is actually pretty fucking cool. I still have to go back and replay it a little bit. I never played it when it was on, but I know that it spawned a series of role playing adventure games, and it's pretty much the grandfather of them all, from what I understand. Wizardry,
One of them, yeah.
Which it still has some pretty fucking awesome graphics, and from what I understand, they cleaned it up quite a lot. I love the look of the monsters. I love the old school feel. So this is definitely in my, realm of gaming sphere. I tend to like the older better than the newer.
I never got into the old school dungeon crawler games like that, but I understand where they were fun though. So this next one was a Game Boy Advanced port, and it was redone, and that is Mario versus Donkey Kong. This is one I should definitely get into because it's short, and it looks really good. It's where they've introduced these toys. Basically, there were these Mario toys, and Donkey Kong really wanted some, so he raided the factory and stole a bunch, and you're going as Mario to try and get them all back. And the others had kind of took on a Lemmings type style, but I've only played a little bit of this game on the original hardware, so I actually look forward to revisiting it and having some fun.
Okay, the next one I know you were playing for a little bit, and I was curious about it because I have one of the Dragon Quest thanks to you. Mm-hmm. One of the later ones, I think it's like 11. But Dragon Quest 3, the remake, and it's the 2D remake, and the world looks pretty fucking cool. I mean, it starts out with you in like the forest, and you got to move a rock for an old man. Yep. Apparently, that generates coin for you, and then you get sucked into the world that you're part of, and you go on adventures and stuff like that. So it's entertaining. But I keep going back to Sudoku and liking that one better for some reason right now. So,
Dragon Quest 3 is my favorite of the Dragon Quest. They are remaking 1 and 2. Technically, the order to play them in, if you want to do like actual timeline order, is 3, 1, and 2. But you could play it 1, 2, and 3 in the future because they are doing a remake of the first 2 games. I like it. I beat the basic story, but I haven't beaten the bonus stuff that they added on yet. I was just like, I'm tired. I want to move on to something else. But I beat the original, which I never actually beat the original NES game. I got to the last boss. And then as soon as I fought the last boss beat me, and then it erased my game, and I didn't want to start all over again, so I didn't get back to it. So it was kind of cool that I actually took on the last boss and beat him that time. So this one here is the last of the Mega Man collections that I needed for the Switch. I've been trying to get them also for the PlayStation because they actually have the full games in the PlayStation discs. But the first and second Mega Man collections do not have the full things on there. You have to download a bunch. But this is the Legacy Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, which, I've never played any of these ones. I played the X ones. I played the other one, but I've never played these. But I'm curious about
that. I know there are 2 collections out there of the Mega Man stuff that I still have yet to collect, and I meant
there's actually, Dave, you're on the right path. If you want the physicals, PlayStation 4's physical release of Legacy Collection 1 and 2 is the full games on the discs. Then there's X Collection 1 and 2. Then there's the Zero Collection, and then there's the Battle Network Collection.
And then the Battle Nexus Collection. Now I have the two first collections, and then I have 11. So that's what I have. So
11's good.
I need to get back into playing those, but for right now, I got a few coming that I still want to have room for. But my next two kind of go together, so I'm going to place them together. These are both PS5 releases of A Plague Tale: Requiem and Innocence. I bought them together, and I basically played the first one, which I believe was it Innocence or Requiem that was first. I like it, although it's a little bit sad because of the ultimate plague that is killing a lot of the people in the game, you know. But it's interesting what they do with the characters, and I think there's definitely a medieval type thing going on too that kind of reminds me of like the Ragnar or like the Gods of War series, except except with medicines and things of that nature. So
Rats.
that I picked those up.
So I got a fun one here. This is a sequel to a game that I have, and this is just kind of cool. They did Super Rare did a double release of Monster Camp XXL and Monster Road Trip XXL. So these are the two sequels to Monster Prom, and basically it is a dating style game, a comedic dating style game, where you play as a monster in a high school for monsters, and you got to take the one that you want to romance out to the prom. And it's very silly. It's very funny. I've never played the sequels. I played the original game a bit, and it's just in general a fun game system where you're dating monsters. It's just in general a fun series. If you haven't checked it out, you should. It's enjoyable, and I'm kind of glad to have these on physical. I don't think they come out on any other system physical, even though they are on other systems, just digitally. It's just kind of cool to have them all physically there. It's just it's a fun little series. I love indie series like this. They're very creative, very cool.
Okay, so my next is a PS5, and this was a limited run release. I'm glad I was able to get in on it because it so much reminds me of the original Doom games at the time. This is Star Wars Dark Forces, the remaster. And,
Yes.
And when I put it in and installed it, it flooded me with a bunch of memories because I swear I actually played this at one point in time. So
I'm sure you did. It was all over the PC.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a blast playing some of this, and I need to get back into to playing it again because it was fun. It is fun, and it reminds me of like Duke Nukem, like old school Duke Nukem, which they need to come out with like some of those older Duke Nukem games.
Be a good collection, definitely.
I know that they've come out with it on Evercade, but Evercade doesn't count. No offense.
Hey, I don't have one. So
Only to just Evercade is a bitch move. Sorry.
Well, this is one I heard about when it was on PlayStation 2, and I needed to check it out. Some Mugen Souls. I don't know much about it. It's a basic RPG. So I'm going to do a second one because I don't have anything to say about this one. And that's another one here, but was released. Limited Run did a release of it, but they only did the first game. And this one is a collection, which is Mutant Muds Collection 1 and 2, and Mud Blocks, which is sort of like a stack-em game. These are kind of like Metroid-style games. Again, I love the sort of like Metroidvania-style games. And indie games like this are really cool. I I'm kind of glad to have this. I was like really excited when I got it because it was so rare to get.
Okay, so like Red Dead Redemption, it was really hard for me to hunt this one down of this particular game franchise because it was also overly expensive wherever I found it, and that may be because of the game hype or the movie hype of this game. But Borderlands for the PS4, this was hard for me to find. I scoured and scoured and scoured until finally I found one that was brand new for like $18. I snatched it. So, glad that I did. The game is awesome. I do like the way that it plays. Not sure how I like the way the other two play after this and the prequels and all that jazz. But
there's a fourth one that's out too.
This is worth picking up.
Because I don't know if the fourth is out yet or it's coming out, but it's coming out soon. I need to play it. I played a little bit of it and then got bored with it and quit. But one of these days, I just got to get into it because a lot of people like them. So this next one is a collection, volume 1 and 2, which is the Neo Geo Pocket, which has several Neo Geo Pocket games on it. This is sort of like having a Neo Geo, which was the ultimate gaming system back in the day in the 90s, because you could play literal arcade games if you were filthy freaking rich, which I was not when I was growing up. But you could get the Neo Geo Pocket and play somewhat similar arcade experiences. So this one has SNK Gale's Fighters, Samurai Showdown 2, King of the Fighters R2, The Last Blade, Fatal Fury Contact, Big Golf Tournament, Dark Arms, Metal Slug Second Mission, Metal Slug First Mission, The Match of the Millennium. And then this collection, which is collection 2, has Mega Man Battle Fighters, Battle of Paradise, Big Bang Pro Wrestling, Baseball Stars Color, Biometer Unitron, Puzzle Link 2, Game Bear Neo Poke-kun, Pocket Tennis Color, Neo Geo Cup 98, and Card Fighters Clash. So some fun little game collections. Kind of a memorable system. I had a friend that had a Neo Geo Pocket. I couldn't afford one, but it was cool to play it. So it was kind of reliving some of those times where I was borrowing it. Now I own the system that I want to play.
Alrighty. So this next one is one that I picked up for, I think, 20. I've been seeing the title around, and I know that there are other games to it. This is the remake of Saints Row. I know you've already showed that you have a copy. Well, I do too. So I played it a little bit. It is a little bit like Grand Theft Auto, except with a little bit of BMX, and it's mission oriented and all that jazz. But in any case, yeah, that's my the release.
Fun stuff.
Yep.
So this one I'm looking really forward to playing, and that is Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. I never got to play this on GameCube. By the time I got it, I just was moved on, and I got out of video games for a while. It was during that period I just kind of got out of video games. And this was a sequel to the original Paper Mario, and everybody loves this one to death. I have beaten Paper Mario. I have beaten the original Paper Mario, which was a kind of sequel to Mario RPG. The cat won't keep getting in my way. But this one's supposed to be a lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff. And this is the series only went down from here. So I'm glad they did a remastering of it and re-released it for the Switch.
All right, the next one I was looking forward to getting a copy of it, but by the time that I did actually get a copy of it, and I believe it was $20 at the time. Is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Unfortunately, by the time I tried to go on it, nobody was playing it. And I think it's pretty much a dead area, just like Friday the 13th is right now.
I don't know.
So,
I mean, they still got the rights to it. I just don't know how many people are playing on it.
well, what they need to do is upload a mission, have it as a download, load again, or an update, so that you can actually play solo missions or something like that. At least get something to keep the game going.
Just get some AI on there. Get some bots that you can do. All right, so this one here is, I think I've probably shown the other couple Pikmins that I got. And this is Pikmin 4. This is the newest one. I've never played any of them, but all the games are now out for Switch. They managed to take 1 and 2 and 3, and they ported them to Switch. So I'm going to just get them out one of these days and start with the first one and go all the way to the fourth one. I've heard they're fun. Like you're an alien, you got these little Pikmin things, and they help them like get in a ship and get out. That's kind of cool.
All right, next one is one that that Dustin made me want to actually play. But by the time I actually got on to it, this is Ark Survival Evolved. And I found the movement very staccato, and it's another multiplayer one where you play with people online. That sucks. I remember playing Unreal tournaments at school and getting the damn game banned, and nobody getting in trouble for it. You know, so things of that nature. It wasn't even like that. So to me, it was a failed experiment, and I guess I'll try to go back to it just to see if I even like it. But I didn't see no dinosaurs, and there were no single missions that you could go on. So this game sucked for me.
Well, speaking of Dustin, he sold me this one, Pokemon Shield. I really didn't need it, but I was curious. It's the first Pokemon for an actual console. I've never played Pokemon more than just a couple of times. I didn't get into the main Pokemon craze. I was too old by the time it started. But I am curious about it. I've heard this one's pretty good. I may eventually just try a game of Pokemon with this one since it's more modern and see how I like it.
Well, since I couldn't unearth one right offhand, I know I have it. I have a copy of Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed.
Woo!
Which I picked up for the PS5 at one point in time. I'd show it. I know I have it. It's in my stuff. I just couldn't find it to show it. But I did want to show this. This is a copy of a webisode thing that you sent me called The Party, which was another birthday gift to myself that someone made and sent to me. I'm not going to say who, but there we go. I started watching a little bit of it, and I still need to finish it. But thank you, Brandon, for sending it to me. Whoever put it together did a good job.
Oh yeah, I don't know who. But yeah, yeah, that's a good one. And also, if you don't have it physically, you can watch it on YouTube. It's a great game and a miniseries. So here is Princess Peach Showtime. And I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool. You get to play as Princess Peach and doing some adventures together. I just thought that was kind of a cool thing. I've heard it's very kind of like short and more kitty related, but it'll still be fun to play through. All right.
Alrighty. So, from time to time, I go and volunteer at my mom's resale shop. And the last time I was there, I found something for $5 that goes for quite a bit more online. This is the 20th anniversary of Tim the Two-Man Home Improvement set, which, if you open up the lunchbox, it's got all 8 seasons of the show. So, for $5, that was a steal.
That was his best show.
Yeah, and I know I still need to pick up Last Man Standing just to check it out too. But whatever. I'm glad I finally have it. To say I have it.
It's a cool set. It is a really cool set. So this one here, I'm going to try and do some rapid fire. So I want to get through this pile before we run out of time.
And
so I'm just going to
go ahead with the rest of what you have. That is what I had to bring to the party. So
all right. Well, I will run through and just comment as necessary. So this here is a release called Rhapsody, the Moral Kingdom Chronicles, which has Rhapsody 2 and 3. The first one is the only one that ever saw to be published in the United States. And I want to say it was on Super Nintendo, maybe not Super Nintendo, I think just PlayStation. The original game also got re-released on a collection from NIS, and they released the other two. And it's kind of funny because it's a musical RPG, and it's very lighthearted, very comedic. I really love the first one. I'm kind of glad to see the second and third finally got a U.S. release. So this next group is the Saga group. So we've got Romancing Saga Minstrel Song, which is a remake of the Romancing Saga 1 game, which is kind of cool. We've got a Play Asia version. The rest of these are Play Asia versions. A Romancing Saga 2, Romancing Saga 3, and then finally Saga Scarlet Grace, which is pretty cool right there. Now, these are kind of like more complex RPGs. Some loved, some not so loved. But, might be fun. Next up, we have RPG Golf Legends, which is technically the sequel to RPG Golf, which is a golf role-playing game. I have the first one actually supposedly is really good. This one I heard fell off a little bit, but I wanted to get this so I could have it. And another weird one that came from Limited One was called Save Me, Mr. Taco Definitive Edition.
okay.
And this one's so like a Game Boy-ish. I got this on a whim. I don't even know what it's about. So this one I
actually have one more thing to show.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
This is kind of a special thing because I didn't plan on buying it. You have an interest in silent movies. Have you ever heard of Rudolph Valentino?
Yes.
He was in The Sheik and Son of the Sheik in silent films, and he was in quite a few others. Well, apparently, the original Lady in Black, whose name was Dietrich Flame, he had evidently written a poem to her, and apparently she's the one who visited his grave for many years, leaving one red rose at his grave. Well, this poem evidently became a song, and the song was called Candlelight. And this is original music for the poem, the song. And I swear it smells like it was in someone's basement. But
Oh, still, sheet music is kind of cool. When I could play piano, I used to like sheet music.
But the fact that this type of thing has survived, I've looked online for this thing. Now, Boris had an interest in getting a copy of this, and I decided that I was going to buy it eventually from him. So it's now going to be something that I can show off for memorabilia. I thought this was kind of cool. It's kind of like something rare of Rudolph Valentino, and you can't even find lyrics to this song online. So,
hey, it's kind of cool that you got a hold of copy.
He at first wanted me to like resell it, and I was like, you know what? This sounds like something that would definitely be worth like keeping hold of, because that's part of history, and it's not in a museum. So I'm going to keep it as mint as I can.
Well, I will ram through these last ones real quick so we can end, since we're running out of time. Or we're out of time, really. This one you've seen from the PS5 one last week, which is Shin Megami Tensei 5. But the remake made major story changes, and this one has been made out of print to make way for the remake. So I thought this would be kind of cool to have as a, just so that I have both the full stories if I ever want to play through them both. Super Mario RPG got a full-on remake, and I've heard this is awesome. I played the original Super Mario RPG on this Super Nintendo, and it rocked. And I am so glad to see this get a full-on remake. I do want to play this sooner than later. It just looks good. Speaking of Mario, Super Mario Wonder, which I've heard this is a game changer on the Mario 2D side-scrolling genre. You can become an elephant in it, apparently. Elephant Mario.
That's pretty awesome.
3 more to go. This one here called Final Fantasy: The Rhythm. Basically, it's a rhythm game where you're playing Final Fantasy tunes. I've heard it's fun, so I said, I'll get it. It was cheap. It was kind of cool to have. This one here is one I think you would appreciate, Dave, called the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection. Now, this has all the Wonder Boy games on it. You've got Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, Wonder Boy in Monsterland, Wonder Boy in Monster World, Wonder Boy 3, Monster, and Wonder Boy 4. Now, this one's a rare one that is done by Strictly Limited. Is 1,874 out of 4,000 copies. There is another collection you can get of this that has those games on it, but this has every region release of those games. So you actually have the arcade versions, the different ones on the different systems that release. This has every Wonder Boy, every version of those games. And that is just an awesome collection. And finally, another remake of Xenoblade Chronicles, a definitive edition. This was part of Operation Rainfall, which Nintendo had said, well, nobody wants to play RPGs anymore. But this fan collective said, bet. And they did this thing called Operation Rainfall, where they brought a lot of these Japan-only RPGs to the States and proved Nintendo wrong. Now this has gotten a port from the Wii over to the Switch, which improves some stuff, and I actually am looking forward to finally playing it on the big screen, which I've only been able to see it on small screens. Well, that's it. I hope you all have enjoyed this. We kind of have to move from one to the other. So I will, I guess I'll just play the credits and then we'll move on to the next.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin. SeptumSin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming will rule the world in time. SeptumSin! SeptumSin!